Welcome, and thank you for coming to our 4th annual Fiscal Summit. It's hard to believe it's only been 4 years since we've been doing these. It feels like it's been about 28. So I guess fiscal policy years are kind of like dog years. But I shouldn't complain. My poor father's been doing this for the equivalent of 210 years. And of course, it would have been great if the problem had been solved and we didn't need these summits. But we will keep doing these until Washington gets the job done. Each year, we like to take a fresh angle on fiscal policy. In 2010, we started these by discussing the challenge itself. In 2011, we debated policy ideas as we launched the Foundation's Solutions Initiative. And last year, we focused on the politics of reform. Today, in the wake of brinksmanship, deadlines, and cliffs, it's time to go back to the fundamental reason why we're here. Today's event is called Facing the Future. And America's future is what the Peterson Foundation and this event is all about. Our current fiscal path makes no sense. The federal budget is about $3.5 trillion. In 10 years, interest alone will be about $1 trillion. Eventually, the projected interest costs exceed all revenue. The trajectory we're on is just unthinkable, and we're on it. Yes, we've made a little progress in the last few years, but the reforms had barely any impact on the long-term future. Before those policies, CBO projected debt to GDP of 200%. After all the reforms, we're still projected to reach that same level just 5 years later. With all that fighting, all we did was postpone the problem. In effect, we spent 3 years arguing over a 5-year delay. And so if we spend the next 2 years doing nothing, we're kind of right back where we started. The recent reforms didn't get the job done because they have not addressed the fundamental drivers of our long-term debt. The real causes include a growing elderly population that we have known about for decades. This is no surprise. The retirement of the baby boom is right on schedule. And we know many Americans are living longer. As my father shows me every day, 86 is the new 66. No wonder he's open to raising the retirement age. Combine this with a U.S. healthcare system that costs way more than it should. Every year, we spend twice as much per person as most other advanced nations, and yet our outcomes are no better. Not only is this the most daunting fiscal problem for federal and state governments, but it burdens every business and individual in America. In some ways, healthcare is America's greatest economic challenge because it threatens everything from jobs to education to even national security. On top of that, we have an antiquated tax system that fails to generate enough revenue to pay for what we promise. We've raised enough revenue to pay our bills only 5 years out of the last 50. It's just not enough. So this is pretty simple math, and this challenge is not hard to understand. But still, some people say, well, we shouldn't worry about long-term problems because we have a long time to fix them. They've got it backwards. Long-term problems take a long time to fix. You can't change a retirement program on short notice. It's not fair. People need time to plan. And improving efficiency in our healthcare system is no easy task. It could take decades to create the value we need to in our healthcare system. So the long-term nature of these fundamental challenges is precisely why we need to get started. It's not an excuse to wait, it's a reason to act. And the claim that a long-term plan means immediate austerity is just wrong. Changes that take effect in future years, by definition, have no immediate effect. So we need to get going because, as Yogi Berra put it, it gets late early out there. The good news is that we know how to fix this. 2 years ago, our foundation sponsored 6 think tanks from across the political spectrum to solve this problem, and they all did it. There are many ways to deal with this, but what is critical is that we act soon. Delaying doesn't make problems go away, it just makes them harder to solve. It just doesn't make any sense that the most forward-looking nation on earth can't fix this problem. We can. So it's time to get at it. So the purpose of this conference is really the purpose of the Peterson Foundation, and that is to convene all sides and face the future. Today's summit is designed to identify trends, to explore opportunities, and to determine actions we can take today to prepare for the world we're so swiftly heading into. So today we will take the conversation back to the future. This morning we'll hear from some of the best thinkers in America. Bill Clinton and Bill Gates will discuss the trends shaping our nation and the world, and more importantly, how to prepare for it. After that, we'll have one-on-one interviews with 5 political leaders from both parties in Congress and the administration. And this afternoon, we'll go in-depth on several key issues, including workforce and retirement, rising healthcare costs, and U.S. competitiveness and national security. By the end of the day, we should all feel a sense of urgency. This is about more than this year's deficit or next, and this is about more than our national debt even. This is about the future role of the United States in the world. Will America be a debtor nation or a leading nation? The choice is ours, right now.